welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. I have nothing to throw.
Man
is right. Yeah, it's going. Is right here. I am Michael Letta, aka Half the Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger Retard. We're everywhere. Just pick us up, find us. You'll find us on social media.
Absolutely. Welcome to Wildcard Weekend on the Sports Box. And if you like what we have here today, make sure that you hit that subscribe now in the top right there. But we're also on Twitter and Facebook, both at Sports Box Show. We love interacting with our fans, so check us out there as well. Mike, how the hell are you today?
Oh, I'm phenomenal. And make sure you're catching our sponsor, DJ Cruz, a.k.a. Anthony Cruz. For all your DJ and party needs, give him a call, 609-513-6395. We'd love to hear from you. Tell them you heard it here on Sports Box.
That's right.
Let's talk about the AFC Wildcard matchup with the Miami Dolphins at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Interesting matchup, I should say. No. It would be a little different, I think, if Tannehill was in there. This is going to be very different with Matt Moore in there. Steelers are Steelers. I mean, let's run through it.
So these two teams did play this year. Miami won 30-15 at home. Pittsburgh has been a much different team on the road than at home this year. But you talk about a team who's just flying right now. You look at Pittsburgh, ranked 7th offensively in the league, 12th defensively, and honestly, I'm very surprised to see that 12th defensively. Frankly, I would not have guessed that if you told me to kind of pick it out of a hat there. They're catching a Miami team who finishes a surprising 10-6. I remember, Mike, when we did our cleaning up the mess after Miami lost with those ugly creamsicle uniforms in Cincinnati, and we had our Miami affiliate George on, and I got to tell you, it was not a fun episode for them. But they've done very, very well. After starting out 1-3, they finished the season 10-6. They've made the playoffs. Adam Gase has done a real nice job given what he had, and I think the emergence of Jay Ajayi has been huge for them, especially given Arian Foster's injury. But they're running into somewhat of a buzzsaw here with the Steelers, especially at home. Their version of the triplets between Ben, Bell, and Brown, I mean, that's as good of a set that you're going to see in the league. And since Bell's come back, the offense has just been fantastic. I mean,
they had really nothing to really play for at the end of the year, and they single-handedly eliminated the Ravens. With that, just to reach out by Antonio Brown, wanted to get in the end zone. I mean, this is a team who really is clicking on all cylinders right now. Really. I mean, they're just rolling right along. The running attacks, like Brian said, two nasty runners. You talk about Jay Ajayi, 1272 on the year rushing yards, and you talk about LeVeon Bell, who's a beast in himself, 1268. So very similar running games. I think these teams both are going to have to pound it and pound it hard. I think it's going to come down to receiving. You look at the receiving core for Pittsburgh. You got LeVeon Bell out of the backfield and catches a lot of screens and get that edge. You got Antonio Brown, obviously, who's a monster out there. Eli Rogers having a solid year, 594 yards, and Sammy Coates for what they use him for. Good player. And then you got Jarvis Landry on the other side, their main receiver, 1136 in yardage. You'd like to say similar to Antonio Brown, but touchdown-wise, Landry has 4 touchdowns compared to Brown's 12. Devontae Parker hit and miss. Kenny Stills had a decent year, but Deion Sims at the end played okay, but sparingly. I think you got to give the nod to the Pittsburgh Steelers in receiving.
Yeah, I think you give the nod to Pittsburgh in a lot of different positions. And you look at how this matchup looks for the Dolphins. Unfortunately, they kind of have a built-in excuse, given that they've got Matt Moore at quarterback. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to walk into this game thinking they're going to lose, but there's a reason Pittsburgh's installed as a double-digit favorite in this game. Because, again, Pittsburgh's a much better team at home than they are on the road. They're catching a Miami team with their backup quarterback, and they're going to have to run. And I don't necessarily know that's going to be helpful in a game where Pittsburgh can score at will. I mean, that's a very, very good offense.
There's going to be blitz packages all over the place for Pittsburgh. I mean, they're just going to move Matt Moore all over the place. I don't... rushing attack-wise, Miami gives up 114 yards per game. I think Le'Veon Bell's going to go nuts.
I think if you asked me if you were to rank the 4 games this weekend as to what I think is the most likely winner, I think it's got to be Pittsburgh.
This has got to be a little lopsided.
Even
though Miami's defense has played a little bit better, Kiko Alonso, as much as Eagles fans hate him, he's played well this year. But their secondary, Maxwell back there looks awful, and their secondary is not up to the task.
I don't know that Tannehill would make a difference, honestly. Again,
No, I think he will. I think he would.
But the Steelers have done such wonderful things at home compared to on the road that just because this game is in Pittsburgh, I'm looking for reasons to like Miami, and I just can't. And the funny thing about it is, we mentioned in our Week 17 preview, when we talked about the Arizona Cardinals, that they were ranked top 10 in a lot of those categories. You're like, this should be a playoff team. Miami's ranked 24th in offense, 29th in defense, and 26th in passing, offensively. Those are not hallmarks of a playoff team. I'm not saying that they're lucky to be here, but they're kind of lucky to be here. And just given the way that things are have kind of played themselves out.
Yeah.
Again, I think that what Jay Ajayi has been able to do is fantastic, and I think it bodes well for the future for this team. But I think this is a case of they must have got really lucky in the scheduling of who they had to play, and they got in over some teams, frankly, I think they're a little better than they are. This is not a controversial pick. Give me Pittsburgh.
I kind of think Miami was rolling along like Oakland was. Maybe not in that facet of that high, but they were rolling along. They've won 8 straight. They were, getting in the playoffs. They were doing this and that with Tannehill, and then all of a sudden, bang! Tannehill gets hurt. A whole landscape changes for you. Now you have Matt Moore, who hasn't really started a game in probably 2 or 3 years before he came in this year. So I don't know if he could pick up the offense that quick in a way of beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. This is, like Brian said, it's going to be a very tough matchup. I don't even think it's going to be a close game, to be honest with you. I think Pittsburgh just pulls away in this game. And, you've seen games where Pittsburgh can just toy with you and just get yards at will and throw to Antonio Brown and even Jesse James. Even though Green's been out of the lineup with the concussions, Jesse James steps in there and is a good tight end. So I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think the home field matters a lot. I think Pittsburgh's going to throw a lot. I don't necessarily think that bodes well for the Dolphins, who probably are going to try to play some clock control here. They're probably going to try to keep the ball out of the Steelers' offensive hands as much as they can. They're going to lean a lot on Jay Ajayi. I don't think it's insane to think 30 carries here. I think that this is just the way that they're going to try to take this game.
Well, I think Kenyon Drake's going to get some action too. But
yeah.
I agree. They're going to be heavy run in this game.
Yeah, I mean Landry's going to catch a lot of those intermediate balls. I don't think you're going to see a lot down the field. I just think
you got Mitchell back there. You got a lot of guys in the Pittsburgh defense that are ready to take somebody's head off. So I don't see a big air attack for Miami, especially with Matt Moore at the helm.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
I think we both agree Pittsburgh is the winner, and I'm going to say by double digits.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah.
So thanks for watching. That's all the time we have for the preview of the wild card. Keep an eye out. Remember, we always have good stuff coming.
Of course, as we mentioned, don't forget that subscribe now button. Click it. I'll give you a second. Fantastic. Thank you. Now, also, we're on Twitter at SportsBuck Show, on Facebook at SportsBuck Show. Interact with us. We want to hear what you guys want us to cover and where we could be doing better, where we're just hitting it out of the park. Let us know about that too. We would love to hear from you.
Well, that's every episode. But anyway, remember our sponsor, DJ Cruz, a.k.a. Anthony Cruz, for all your party and DJ needs. Give him a call, 609-513-6395. And remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters.
It's right here.
Is it right here?
It's
absolutely right here.
Like in this general area?
Yeah,
right here.
Pretty much. Not here. Right here. Thanks for watching. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.